Well, the fun never ends. Have you seen the latest? World central banks are buying gold at a near historic record rate. But at the same time, don't you find it a little maddening that the price of gold is basically in the gutter? I mean, what the heck is going on? Can we make sense of this situation? What does it tell us that the world central banks are buying so much gold, and why is the price of gold down? We're going to dive into that right now. So the World Gold Council, that prestigious organization, came out with a report recently regarding gold purchases by the world central banks. There's a couple good articles out there you may also want to read. One by Kitco, one by our friends at Reuters. I'll put those in the description below if you want to dive into this, and maybe you'll have some other ideas, some feedback. It'd be nice if you left a comment in the comment section below. Trust me, you don't have to agree with me. Your thoughts do matter, and we do want to hear from you. Now let's talk about what the World Gold Council had to say. The world central banks bought 399, but we'll round it up to 400 tons of gold in Q3 alone. That's what, July, August, September. That's a 300% increase from the third quarter last year, an astounding number. Central banks, what are they doing? What are their actions? They are buying gold. But you want to hear some more, don't you? Because it gets even better. When you look at the first 9 months of 2022, January through September, the central banks purchased 673 tons of gold. Now, where it gets shocking, is that those 9 months of purchases are more than any other complete year until you go all the way back to 1967. Did that sink in? Did that make sense? It doesn't feel like I conveyed it very well, so I'll try to say it another way. The first 9 months of 2022, world central banks bought 673 tons of gold. If you go back and take the total amount bought during complete years, not just 9 months like we're looking at now with 673, but complete years, you have to go all the way back to 1967 to find a year where in the complete year they bought more gold than they bought in the first 9 months of this year. The World Gold Council did mention that they also saw solid demand for both bars, gold bars, and jewelry and coins during that period. They noted that both Turkey and India, there's like 2.4 billion people in India. We know they're buying a ton of silver, but they also, their central banks bought a ton of gold. They were some of the leading buyers during that period. Now, it's a bit of a mystery. We all like a mystery. Do you like mysteries? We all like mysteries. Conspiracies. It's a bit of a mystery and conspiracy who bought the rest of the gold, but people are saying they suspect it was, you guessed it, China and Russia. We know they are moving toward a more gold-backed currency. At least that's the communication. That's what we're reading between the lines. So it's no surprise, right, that likely China and Russia made significant increases to their central bank gold holdings during the third quarter of 2022. So let's take a step back and take a look at the forest through the trees, right? Not just stare at the tree, look at the whole forest. The world central bankers, right? The foremost experts, the leaders, the central authorities on money and monetary systems throughout the world are either holding onto their gold or making record levels of purchases. What does that tell us, right? What are their actions? I mean, it doesn't take a stretch of imagination to realize that gold is still a very, very valuable asset, even today in the year 2022. But what do you think? I mean, am I nuts? I just, if I look at the central banks and what they're doing, to me, if they were selling gold, I'd be very concerned. But the fact that they're buying gold, don't you think that's kind of like a good sign in terms of the inherent intrinsic value of the metal? And I'm going to read you a quote here. Record gold purchases by central banks are in contrast to what has been happening with the gold price. The precious metal has been falling, we know that, for 7 straight months in response to aggressive tightening by the Federal Reserve that is boosting the dollar and U.S. Treasury yields. So yes, the problem with gold, even though there's all this demand, is the strong U.S. dollar. And it's not just a problem for gold, it's a problem for every other country essentially in the world. And they are throwing a fit. You know, we just need that pendulum that Jerome has swung so far to the aggressive side to stop swinging more aggressive. When that happens, that's going to provide some support and some rocket fuel for gold and silver. And the World Gold Council also noted that there were some pretty major ETF outflows, let's say over the last 9 months. The GLD, you know, that paper gold ETF, and same thing with SLV. There's a lot of suspicion and controversy surrounding those ETFs, but nonetheless, people were moving out of those ETFs because the price is going down, right? The people that just chase the price, not the loyal, hardcore supporters of the metals and the mining stocks like we are. Those weak hands, they've been selling out, and that has provided downward pressure on the price of gold in particular. Let me know what you think about that. Did the selling from the ETFs, was that a major contributing factor to the price of gold going down? I don't know. But hey, when we look at the big picture going on here, what do we see? We see big demand for gold, and that'll flow through to silver, platinum, palladium, the other precious metals, and the mining stocks eventually. But these big central banks, these are like the central hub. These are the powers that be. We got to watch what they're doing, not always necessarily listen to what they're saying. Actions speak louder than words, and when the action is they're buying gold, I still think that's a very good sign for the precious metals. Let me know what you think. Thank you for joining me. You know you're always welcome here. We've been through some choppy waters in the precious metal sector. We can get through this. I'll be here for you through it all. I hope you decide to come back. Until next time, you, yes, you, one and only you, be well.